Welcome back to ARMEDFORAGER. Alright, we bought the Hawk DLX EFI, and this is the 2023 version. And so what do you need to do to get this thing running? So we're going to go over unboxing, building, appropriate maintenance on this thing before you get it running. We'll go over how to make this thing legal as far as driving it on the road and not just trails. We'll take it for a ride and then you'll get my honest opinion.
Howdy.
Hey.
Hey, how are you?
Good, how you doing?
Good, man. Okay.
Around here?
Where'd you come in? You need me to sign anything, or?
No, I
Okay.
just got a release on and go take a picture of it.
Alrighty. Would you be able to pallet jack that thing in here, possibly, for me?
Well, I have to be on this.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, as long as it gets some traction on there, that's the only thing.
Okay. It would make it my life more convenient, but I don't want to bog out your equipment or anything.
Let's get this thing unboxed. Looks like the frame was severely damaged. I hope that that doesn't reflect on severe damage to the bike. Looks like this took a lot of damage here. Guess we'll see what's going on with it after all the plastic's off. Maybe just some nicks and scrapes. I hope it didn't plunge into anything here. Yeah, scraped that one up pretty good. Here's the other area of concern. Let's see what happened when this is jammed in and broken open here. Looks like it bent this up pretty good. So this is not supposed to be forward like this. It's supposed to be nice and flat, and there's scuffs all up in this. Looks like it just jammed right in here and slammed this guy forward. Just give it a once-over look. Tank looks good, so I'm pretty happy about that. Yes. So far, though, not seeing a hideous amount of damage on this side at all, which is really good because we got our exhaust and everything on this side. a little bag seat cover here, and it had this stuff in it. So I got the user manual, and looks like a USB drive on how to put this thing together, I would assume. So that's convenient. We got a box down here. Let's see what's going on in here. What are we missing? These are your rear view mirrors. We've got our turn signals, reflectors, and some extra nuts and bolts and washers and hardware. This guy. Last thing, I think they give you some tools. There we go. That actually gets nice and stable right there, and nothing's gonna knock that over as long as it's flat right there. That's good. Yeah, that's not moving. Day 2, and it rained pretty hard the last couple of days, and so we just put the thing on it, and awning has been leaking, and so I'm glad we put that cover over that. But let's get it working and operable, and then we'll take it for a ride. All right, and here's what we're looking at here. This came out of the box. So just these guys here. This thing was fallen out of the packaging, so I don't know what that is yet. This guy, these guys here. And then this is from the packaging and the frame there. And here's all the nuts and bolts and little springs and reflectors. So this is really it. It seems like a lot when you unbox it, but this is nothing. I mean, there's just like 10 bolts and some washers. That's it. And I actually can't get the instructional video. It comes with a little USB drive, but I think it's only for Windows. It doesn't work on my iPad at all. It shows that there's a disk, but it doesn't read it. It says there's nothing on it. So we're gonna have to freelance this or try to figure it out. Seems pretty self-explanatory. All the stuff that's flopping around over here, if it's got a little home, something to mate up to, and then missing some nuts or bolts, then you just attach it. This will move into place here. Seems daunting by yourself, but once you got it up on something, it's not so bad at all. Here's what we're looking at for that, 9/16 or 13 millimeter. Grab those black bushings, 4 of them. These longer bolts and then put a washer on them. You need 4 of those. There you go. Do that with the rest of them. That'll be 8mm. Alright, yeah, so I know what that piece goes to now. It's supposed to go in here. Glad that didn't fall out during delivery and fall out somewhere and not get it back. Take this little guy out of the brakes area. I want to line it all up in there so that this part here is aligned on the inside of that. Alright, 4mm and 9/16. And then this side you're looking at the big boy, you got, what is this, 17mm. While we're at it, we can secure these guys here and put some of these cables and manage these cables a little bit better. Got a little bushing there, and just attach that. I'll string my cables up as high as I can so it doesn't have any probability of getting caught up in this. There, and I moved the cable to the outside here, underneath. Yeah, and this one will do fine in the middle there. Next to these guys, and they'll just go right on the top one here. This is something you got to figure out by trial and error. So this side here, if you're facing the bike, the left side is going to be blue and green. The right side is going to be orange and green. So. And here's where you connect them, right in this cluster here. So you've got the 2 greens, and they should be connected to each other here. And then you've got that orange there, and so on. Green and orange, green and orange. There's no real special way to put these in, just make sure it clicks. Alright, here's the blue and green. And then there's the blue and green. And they're paired together with electrical tape, so that's how you'll know. Because there are other green wires, but these ones are paired with a brown and a set of 3 here with blue, white, and green. The only cluster left is the 3 here with the white, blue, and green, and then the 2 dangly, the brown, and the green. And that'll be for your headlight. You need both of these guys. Alright, there's kind of a strange way to connect this, so you'll use the little stubby ones here, and you'll put the washer and then the bushing. Alright, here's what you're going to need for the next part here. So you got this little pin here, and then this washer, and you got the 2 springs that comes with it. And then your brake. Washer goes in the back, and then this bin will go behind that. Pin. There's the washer. Take your pliers and bend that pin side to side so that it stays in there. Now you'll take this pin, take it on out of there. It's got a little washer. And this plug here. Just break in there. This is adjustable. This guy in this way now. You put your washer in on that side. And then pin it up. Now it'll look like that. Take a bigger spring, lock it around here. Alright, the little spring, the longer side on the bottom, and then attach it to your line there. I assume there should be another nut for that, but I don't see one anywhere. Right, next, other side. You got a shifter. This one's your 10mm again. You want it at a nice angle so you can actually shift it. Best thing to do is to take this bolt completely out first. I actually can't get in there, so I'm going to have to drop this. Alright, dropped it down a little bit. That's tough. Really had to push up on that. Had my wife actually pull those blocks. So, now it's on the kickstand, and just about done. And I'm going to tighten up this shifter here. We'll get going. And then tighten that guy up real good. You don't want that coming loose. Alright, exhaust cover next. And then you get 3 of these little longer stubby ones, and you put the bushing and the washer on there as well. And the holes look like they just line right up there. Then put this guy back on, and there's little things right here, little inserts that you can put the part in. Let's put the last bit of plastic on here, and you'll need 2 of these guys, the short ones. Same deal with the bushing and the washer. There's a little catch here. And then there's that little piece that it catches on. There's also one up here, and that'll catch right there. Then you want this one to hold itself in here. You want that on the front, and then you'll drill this into here. And now I'm just taking all the protective plastic off of the stickers here. Alright, some of the finishing touches. Simple enough with the mirrors, you set them in place where you want them, and then you can spin this nut to secure it. Just make sure you got some threads on each one before you start spinning them. That's also the 9/16. These guys right here are already connected, you just need to tighten them up. I wanted to make sure everything was done right, so I did inspect the video online. I found one on YouTube, and it shows that they take this part off, and they filled the battery with battery acid. And so I'm going to do that. I didn't find any battery acid or container or anything like that in the box, so we'll see if it came pre-filled. Much different than what I saw in the videos here. So this battery isn't clear or see-through. It is, it's got this nice little strap on it too. This one is definitely heavy, definitely pre-filled. So this is a nice battery. This is much better, in my opinion. It looks a lot more decent than the other one on those videos. Okay, it's wet loaded. Yeah, check that out. Yeah, it makes it very clear that it just needs a recharging every so often. Sweet. All right, so the wires here, black left, red on the right. All right, so yeah, positive first, red one here, and then the negative. All right, and after this, just put this guy back on, and then we're done. All right, the final thing is we're gonna put some reflectors here and on the other side as well. There are some extra washers and nuts that you can put on these in the back of them, but these will just screw right in. In there. All right, so this guy's calling for a battery charge, and so that's what I'm gonna do. I got this charger here, and we're gonna charge the battery and get it all charged up to full, and then we'll be able to run this thing. Charge time is going to vary on these things. On the battery itself, it says charge time for 0.65 amps is 10 hours, and then for 6.5 amps is a half hour. So just get yourself a good charger. It'll tell you if it's full or not. It says it's supposed to be in between 13.6 and 14.8, and this is at 14.4. 5.96 amps, and it says 100%, so I think we're in the clear. Use the back of the key here to open this up, and that opens right up, goes from shut to open. Turn it into the on position, just to see how well the battery is actually working. Everything looks okay. There's no gas, but we're gonna put some in. So to catch the oil, I'm just going to use this guy here. I've got some grease for the axles and all of the rub areas. This is great for bearings and such. And then I got the 10W40, and doing that because it doesn't really get super below freezing or anything like that here. And there's 4 recommended oil types that you can get for this one. You got the 20W50, the 20W40, the 10W40, and the 10W30. And so there's not much difference between the 30 and the 40, so I'm going with this one. A couple of these guys is gonna help me pour the gas, and then I got the oil funnel there, and then I just got some 87 rated gas. All right, and they say for the drain bolt that you're gonna do 18 foot-pounds of pressure to re-seal it, and to always, or every other oil change to replace that washer in there. But I'm gonna check the washer, make sure it's okay. I might not need to replace it this time. But here's what you're gonna need as far as this goes. I'm gonna use a 5-inch extender and then 1/2 to 3/8 so I can put this guy on, and you'll need the 17mm, and that's how I'm gonna get it on this torque wrench. Yep. There is a little bolt right there, that one there. There's your fill plug dipstick. And you get to check. See, it's got these grooves on it, just like in the manual. I'm gonna leave that slightly off so I can get some relief when this oil comes out of the bottom here. You can apply steady pressure, and then when you're ready, let go. There. Now you don't get it all over yourself. Some say this oil is okay to run in your bike. I'm not going to trust any manufacturer oil in a brand new bike that you just get from Amazon. Probably not the best option. Drain this immediately when you first get the bike before you start running it. You don't want that cycling through your engine. Drain it completely and then get yourself some 10W30 or 10W40, whatever your preference is, according to the manual there, depending on your weather situations. And I'm getting this because it's an air-cooled. I'm getting the 10W40. Drain it on out of there. See if there's any weird stuff in it. And yeah, if you're just breaking in your engine for the first 500 miles or so, change that oil out. Get some decent oil. Now for me, right away, I see some black stuff in here. It's a weird color as the last dribbles of this come out. Yeah, I'll show you what I'm talking about here. You don't want that cycling through your engine. And then there's some black runoff, whatever that is. Through the phone here, the oil actually looks a lot lighter than it actually is. It looks very dark. So weird discoloration. Make sure all of that stuff gets out of there. Some have said that this is just oil that they put in for when it sits for a long time. So probably not good running oil. While it's draining there, set it upright. It's on the kickstand right now, and that'll help get some of that remaining oil out of there. Yeah, that stuff looks nasty. I wouldn't want to run that in this brand new bike. No way. Yeah, definitely drain that stuff out of there. I can't stress that enough. Get that stuff out of there. And then it'll go down to some drips, and then once it's stopped dripping, then you can put your new oil in that dipstick fill hole. And there's that SAE 10W40. I'm actually going to pour a little in here with both areas open and try to filter out some of that other oil that was in there. So after you've installed the drain plug again, you want to make sure that the fill line, that your oil is at the upper part of the fill line. If it's down here or below when you check it, you want to make sure that it's at the upper part there. And what you're going to do is put the drain plug in, fill it up 1.6 US quarts is what it says. So we'll put that to the test. And then lean it upright. You're going to start the engine, run it for 3 to 5 minutes it says, and then let sit for about 2 minutes. And then you'll put this back in. You won't screw it all the way in. You want to make sure that it just sits on the metal part. And you'll take it out and you'll check it. Now this one doesn't come with an oil filter, it comes with an oil screen. And that'll look different with this newest version. Usually you'll see here there's like it'll say strongest or something like that. This is the newest one. This is the 2023 version of this bike. And so it won't have the black little screw that goes on there, that part that you take off. Here, let me show you. It's actually a silver part here. And so that will have your screen, and that'll act like a filter. It'll catch some of that stuff. So let's take that off and we'll clean it with some alcohol. Gonna use that 99% stuff. Just got a little bit left in here, but this should do the job. Clean that guy off. Just keep turning, and this guy's spring loaded, so careful. Some of that remaining oil is going to come out. Get all over the frame here. That's really what that is right there. It's just a little cap. And then a spring. And then get your fingers all in there and dirty. And pull this guy out. And that's it. This little guy here. That's the filter. And this had this thing in it. Ew. Okay, I'm gonna throw this in some alcohol. Ugh. That definitely needed to be cleaned out. There's all kinds of stuff in there. Just black. And then you put the filter inside like this, so that it's kind of pushing against this cap here. And then you reinstall it. Yourself a nice clean rag, wipe it up a little bit, put it in there finger tight, and then give it just a little crank with your tool, and it's in there. You're good to go. It doesn't need to be over tightened, and that's real easy to do with this. It barely took any strength to unlock that nut there. So kind of nice in that respect that it doesn't have an actual filter. You don't have to buy another filter. They're not spendy by any means, but that's something else you don't really have to fuss with. You just buy the oil, drain it, check that thing, clean it out a little bit, and then put new oil in. It's good. This one says 1 US quart, so we're going to dump this whole thing in there. Here's another one. We're going to put about 0.6 in there. If there's too much in there, then we'll just drain some more out until we get the right amount. Yeah, that's nasty. Look at this. Cool thing about these paint holders here, it's like any other oil pan, I guess, but you can use the corner to dump it right in. Well, let's check. Let's see what these each show here. Kind of a test. All right. So it says 1.6. Here's the old stuff. Here's the new stuff. There was really less than a full quart in there. Not 1.5. And definitely not 1.6. That's why it's very, very important to do your own maintenance on this stuff and get it up to par before you start riding it. You can encounter a plethora of issues. Yeah, just looking at it, it sits at about right there. So we need it up here. Even with it all the way in, not just sitting on the metal, it's about halfway. So we definitely need 1.6. And there definitely was not 1.6 in there the first time. All right, now we just pour it in. Let's give that a shot. Usually I'm spot on with these things. Let's see. Give it a wipe. Put it in there, just resting on the metal. I'm gonna screw it in just a little bit so it doesn't flop around. There we go. Make sure it's level. Give it some time to settle. Well, just a little low. So I'm just going to put a little bit more in, and then we'll go from there. All right, nope, just triple checking. It's right there. It's right where it needs to be. So I got it. Nice and good, and let's start the engine. All right, let's put some gas in this before we start it up. And battery looks okay. It's got new oil in it. And so when we put gas in, it's the unleaded, it's the 87 octane. Put some gas in, should fire up, shouldn't be any issues. The manual says it takes 14 liters, and so that's a little over 3 gallons. Let's see if that's accurate.
That running light. There we go. Let's do a quick check and see if everything works properly. So there's a turn signal. Looks good. Push it in to kill it. And the right turn signal. There we go. Yep. See if the horn works. Yep, that works. And then here's the high beams. Those work. It was interesting to me, it wasn't registering the gas, that there was any gas in it. And so this is a little over a gallon, and it looks pretty accurate now. No more white exhaust coming out anymore. Just gonna let it idle. And then check that oil again.
Let it sit for a couple of minutes and then check the oil. Set it in there like they say, and give it a slight twist. There. Bring it up. Nice and level. Wipe and a quick check. There we go, right at the fill line. All right, then you got your tags and your license plate. It's nice, it's got this plate light there. Everything seems to be functioning and working the way it should, so let's go to the gas station, let's fill this up. It's looking good. Keep in mind, this is a big bike. I'm only 5'9". I was 5'10". License displayed 5'10" for a longest time. Now I'm 5'9". I guess that's what happens when you get older, you get shorter. But yeah, I mean, it's a tall bike, so that's what you're getting. That's alright, when you're riding, you're not going to be dragging your feet anyway. It's a bit chilly today, so I'm wearing all the stuff. Cool. Well, that was a lot of fun. I think I got something to return to a Bi-Mart. If you know this channel, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I actually have a inside the waistband holster for the new Gen 5 Glock that I got that I'm gonna return. It's leather. Leather is great, but you know, it's just way too bulky for me, and so spring is almost here, and the coats and those things, it's going to be a lot harder to conceal that way, so I'm going to go ahead and return that. But for now, take care of yourselves, be safe, and do what's right.